Chapter 146. Thump thump, my heart was beating like crazy. I guess that's because I got caught unintentionally peeking at Perez's bath scene, or thump. Once again, my heart skipped a beat. It was the moment I met Perez's eyes that shone brightly. It's beautiful. That's all I could think of, with wet hair swept back, deep eyes and nosebleeds shaded by moonlight. Perez's hot body temperature, which is delivered from the wet pale muscular body and nevertheless from the point of contact with my body. The long lashes over the pupils looking down at me, and the worries about me contained in the dark brows that were frowned as if he was worried. Holding on to Perez's sturdy arms, I still couldn't move, hoping that the tumultuous heartbeat would go away. Tia, it was Perez who raised me. His big wet hands grabbed my shoulders and straightened them up. Oh, at that moment, a sense of loss that I had never felt before flooded in. What the hell is this feeling? And even before I could find the reason, Perez approached, bending over to me. His calloused hand wrapped around my cheek. I think you still have a fever. Yeah, I have a fever. It may not be a fever caused by a cold, but my cheeks are a little hot. Only then did I come to my senses and stepped back half a step. I'm sorry, Paris. I heard the sound of water, so I followed you unintentionally. I apologize properly, I said, hiding my trembling voice as much as I could. That's fine. No, of course. This is a public place, but I should have gone right back when I realized you were naked. When I looked at Perez's body, I saw things that had not been seen before. What's this all about? What about these wounds? Perez's wide chest and back were full of small traces. Not a wound, a scar. Yes, I mean scars. Why so many? Most of them were small scars, but the ones on the left arm or the right side were quite big and deep. It was like Perez's body is a dark and terrible snake. How big of a wound was it if the scar remained like this? It happens often in training, Perez said nonchalantly. Training? What kind of training are you doing so hard? Was there anyone bothering you at the academy? No, more than anything. Isn't training using wooden sword or something? Perez smiled at me and replied, dealing with a sword is a battle between the mind to kill and the instinct to live. You can't develop without using a real sword, Tia. Oh, yes it was. The sword is. As he wasn't wearing clothes, I could see more small scars on Perez's hands and arms, and I asked, pointing to a dark red cut on his back, which had been bothering me a little while ago. Just name the person who left this in your body. This must have been a different intention under the guise of training. I don't know. Why don't you know his name? I'm sure he used to go to the academy. It was not a training wound. Only then did I remember. Sometimes I've been attacked or something that the Empress used to send someone to kill Perez. It's impossible to ask the dead person for a name now. Perez is standing here now, which means that the assassin sent by the Empress is dead. I looked up at Perez. I keep getting confused. Just because I intervened in young Perez's life and created a better environment doesn't make everything easier. His life is still fierce, as deep as the scar left here. I put my hand over the bumpy left scars. It must have hurt a lot. The terrible day when he got this wound seemed to be painted before my eyes, but when my hand touched his waist, there was a change. Perez's body twitched slightly and his stomach was tense. His perfectly sculpted muscles revealed a more angry appearance. Perez's body temperature, which I felt at my fingertips, grew even hotter. Zap! I could see a strong arm with the blue tendon sprouting as he clenched his fist. I raised my head and looked up at Perez. I encountered deep darkened eyes. Something tense, drawn in it, was visible, quietly, but with great up and down. Perez's naked chest, I could feel the heat of suppressing and enduring. Looking down at me, his long eyelids trembled once. At that moment, I could realize the current situation by hearing the sounds of the surroundings that had been pushed away. It was only then I saw myself touching Perez's body, barely wearing a cloak around his waist. It's like Tia is trying to seduce Perez unknowingly. Oh, I said, quickly taking my hands off Perez's body. I'll go back to the carriage. I need a little more sleep. I hope Perez will pull Tia into his arms like in TV drama, but not. Then I hurried down the forest path, where there was a rustling sound with every step. Splash! Behind me, I could hear Perez jumping back into the lake. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. We arrived safely at the Ivan estate. Everyone was very tired and exhausted because the schedule moved so quickly, but the trip ended without any major problems. Young people who were in the midst of restoration work on the forest wall welcomed us, who are the most advanced units of relief supplies that will continue in the future. The problem was after entering Ivan's mansion. Welcome, Your Highness. And welcome, young Lady Lombardi and young Lord Luman. I'm Migente Ivan. Migente Ivan is the second son of Lord Ivan and the younger brother of Deputy Lord Ivan in the capital. Where is Lord Ivan? Let's just say I and Ivanovs are under the orders of the Emperor, brought supplies to help Ivan, but it's not Lord Ivan himself who greets the prince and his party. This was a massive political disrespect. If it was Estada, the whole estate would be turned upside down. Perez's face was also stiff. My father was in a hurry where there was an additional landslide this morning. Miguel Ivan was in a hurry to make excuses and eventually said with his head down, I'm sorry, Your Highness. I watched the situation quietly. Anyway, the representative of this procession was Perez, who was named under imperial order. It's nice to see him prioritize the safety of local people. First of all, you're going to watch. Miguel said, a little embarrassed by Perez's comments. I've prepared dinner for you. Relax and rest, and I'll send someone to guide you, Your Highness. So be it. The servant attached to Ivan led Perez and Abinox to their respective rooms. See you in a little while. After that incident at the lake, Perez and I became a little awkward. I can't help it. The atmosphere of the day deserved it. Left alone in a room for the first time in a long time, I found a comfortable chair and sat down. Sigh, it's comfortable. I made named A maid named Becky, who was attached by Ivan's family, said she would prepare a warm bath, so I'm alone until she gets back. I thought, putting my feet on the low table in front of my chin and armchair, I think Lord Ivan is going to be very picky. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. My prediction was correct. Lord Ivan was quite difficult to deal with. We won't accept any funding. It was the first thing Lord Ivan said at the dinner table. Father, Miguel shouted, but Lord Ivan didn't budge. You're saying you're going to reject the Emperor? At Perez's words, Lord Ivan raised his darkened eyes. It was quite different from Lord Ivan in my memory. As a northern person, where does the always friendly look go? The atmosphere was as sharp as the feisty face. I am not going to take any money. The wood prepared by the Lombardi family and the relief supplies of the Lumen family will be accepted without consideration. Lord Ivan said with a slight salute towards me. What is the reason? Perez asked in a calm voice. It was a question of pure curiosity, not reproach. Lord Ivan also felt it, softening the momentum a little and said, It's because of Ivan's mistake, so we are only taking responsibility. Megante seemed to be aware of Lord Ivan's decision, whether he had already known about it. Is there any reason to go back on a rough road? It's a relief fund gathered out of concern for the North. Think again, Perez said. I think I know the reason, but Lord Ivan still shook his head stubbornly. It's enough for Ivan alone to take charge of the North. Lord Ivan, who said so, got up without hesitating. I have to go out again as soon as dawn comes. Would you excuse me first? Please do so. Thank you for coming so far, Lady Lombardi and Sir Luman. I'll see you again. That's how Lord Ivan left. In the dining room, where only awkward silence remained, Migente's low sigh continued for a long time. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Next day, while Lombardi construction engineers went to see the walls and the collapsed buildings, I also moved alone without a maid. The destination was the branch of Pellet Corporation located in Ivan's estate, Lady Florentia. As soon as I opened the door, a familiar voice greeted me. Long time no see, Violet. Wasn't it hard to get here? Are you sick? It's been almost a year since we met. Violet clasped my hands in both hands and asked something. I'm fine, Violet. Your has a hard time. You have a hard time in the distance. But I think you're doing well. The Ivan branch of Pellet Corporation was a small place, but it was very clean, reflecting the meticulous and neat nature of Violet, who was in charge. Let me take you to the office, Lady Florentia. What Violet's office looked like upstairs. It was so well organized that it was hard to think of it as a space used every day. Violet, who immediately pulled out, settled across from me. So how are you these days, Violet? Now that we don't have to buy wood, I'm more relaxed than anyone else. You've been through a lot, so get some rest. I heard from Clarivan that Monarch Top was a lot of trouble. Oh yes, a smile faded from Violet's face. As far as I know, no seer that Monarch Top's owner stays in the capital. Who the hell is that? Who put Violet in such trouble in the north? The person in charge of the Monarch Top it's a very difficult person to deal with. A difficult person? I've never heard Violet rate someone like that before. Isn't that the kind of person who rolls his head a lot? No, if so, I wouldn't have struggled so much, Violet said with a bittersweet smile. Rather, it's far from a ruse or a trick. No place in every auction house doesn't attend despite being young, and it's like running on his feet. Do you mean diligent? Is Violet in trouble? Is Violet in trouble? Yes, it's a little too much to just say diligent. Trouble? Desperate would be appropriate. Desperate? Violet was the second most diligent person I knew. I said it to the point where I'm bawling with my grandfather, who wakes up at dawn every day and works until night. But such a Violet gives such an assessment. She's also had the guts to do the bidding, and in an auction I couldn't attend. Everything went to the Monarch Top. A woman? The person in charge of Monarch Top is a woman? Yes, Ramona is a woman. Seeing she doesn't use her last name, she seems to be a commoner. Her name is, what did you just say? It's Ramona, Lady Florentia. Ramona. The moment I heard the familiar name, I felt like I could hear something thumping from the inside of my chest. End of chapter 146.